expectations that they put on themselves in the industry are completely on two separate sides of the room. And so this next generation that's coming in, and this biggest shift, how I see it is that we as a people, both organizational leaders, company owners, even drivers themselves, the expectations are much different, and we have to ask ourselves, am I willing to shift and adjust to meet those expectations? And if the answer is no, 5 years from now, are you going to be around? I've been around 9 years, and how I do business now versus how I did business in 2017 is vastly different. Why? Because things are shifting. And if you want to be relevant, you want to help the industry, help people, and also create relationships, you have to recognize that. And so how must leadership evolve to meet it? You gotta look around. And you have to face the reality that even though you might have been successful 5 years ago or a year ago from now, you might not be doing those same practices. So you yourself have to stay in touch with that and rise up to that, and then pull the people underneath you and next to you up with you. That's how you build a coalition. That's how you build leadership. That's how you build change.
That was powerful in itself, because we of course get caught up in the same things that we're doing all the time, and sometimes we're resistant to change. That's right. Being resistant to change can hold you back. Wanting to just be a one-man show will hold you back. Not just can, it will eventually hold you back. So thank you so much for pointing that information out in regards to that, because we are shifting, and it's definitely, hey, how to say, get on board and get left behind.
That's right.
Okay, so the next one that we're going to go ahead and go to here is with the Association and Workforce Mission. Now, how can associations and industry partners work together to strengthen safety culture while also expanding workforce opportunities? Can somebody chime in on that for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start on this conversation. So our organization, we really rely on industry involvement, and I preach this every day to the companies that I work with. If you're not involved in your own community, in your own backyard, working with your local schools, trying to develop talent, then you're missing the boat. People ask me, hey, can you come to this state and do this? No, I want my partners that are in that area to go into that school that's having a career fair for 2,000 students. I want you to go there, and I want you to brand your careers, talk to students about what you do, and let them know that there's opportunities. We also see this really interesting perspective when an employer goes in and starts building relationships with schools. Then there are a lot more young people, students, that are more likely to go into the industry. If they don't know anything about the industry, they're not going to go into it. But one thing that's a return on investment that people don't think about is if you have drivers and you let them go and volunteer, talk to students about their jobs, their roles, what they do, you have higher retention, you have higher productivity, because what it does to that person to share who they are and the job that they do, it makes all the difference in the world. And actually, Trina, she came to Patterson High School, which is the co-founder of Next Gen Trucking. Is a high school teacher that started this high school trucking program 10 years ago. And Trina got to go and volunteer and talk to the students and learn about them, and what impact did it have on you when you talked to students and invested in their lives?
So first thing, every student walked into the classroom, shook my hand, introduced themselves before they sat down. That's powerful. I'm just gonna say this, it took me, so I went on a Friday, I flew back to California late Friday night, and the reflection Saturday I was just on my knees in tears. I mean, the impact and the way they show up. I mean, you know, they're already, you see that they're hungry for a great future. And you already know, just talking to them, that there are next generation of leaders that we need to continue to invest in. This was my philosophy as an executive. You know, when our community thrives, then UPS is going to thrive. And so it was important to give back to a Patterson High School. That's why I said, yes, I'm going. You know, was excited about going and excited about the interaction and how thirsty they are about wanting to know how to be great, you know, and wanting to know how they are going to be unstoppable in whatever career endeavor they take, because this school is state of the art. And just to see them engage and ask questions, everybody was like, the bell was ringing and everybody was still lifting their hands, asking questions. I mean, that's what our future looks like, and that's what we have to invest in. So yeah, it took me a whole day of just tears and reflection and crying, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, thanking God for the opportunity, so thank you. You know, and just thanking God that He chose me to go, and I was obedient to the calling, and that's the experience for me. Yeah.
Do you want to close it up?
Well, I just love it, and we created Next Gen for the trucking industry, but then it was not too many months later that we started seeing, oh my gosh, no, we created this to change and impact every student's life, that we can help learn to be a diesel technician, change their family tree, and have this amazing skill set that they can have a career, have them get a CDL, fall in love, and grow this passion to become the best they can be. And now we have stories. Now the youngest Walmart driver, 21 years old, stories that we see every day is why we did this. So we were like, hey, we created this for the trucking industry. No, we created this for each individual student, and I truly believe that they can turn their lives around through careers in trucking.
Right.
We are a community, and we want young people to see what a great community we are and how much passion we have for this job and how important this job is for our country.
I love that. I'm going to piggyback off of what you're saying, but I want to stop and talk about your passion. Okay, this is a little off the left. These women are on here and doing what they do because of the passion. I don't know if you can see the tears in her eyes, but that's passion. Okay, that's love. That's love for this industry. If you don't love this industry, I'm going to politely ask you to leave. I'm just being honest. If you're here just for some money, the next we care about you as a driver. We care about you as an owner-operator. We're passionate about trucking, and I thank you for your passion. Just to kind of segue a little bit more, talking about workforce development. AAWTA has put something in place called the Driven Together Education Program. And what that does is we took 6 amazing individuals that were professional drivers, dispatchers, brokers that had 10 plus years in the industry, and made sure that they were certified to learn how to teach adults in different aspects. When it came down to education, it wasn't just about trucking. It was to make sure that you were able to absorb the information and retain the information. So as we put that program together, they went through the program, 40-hour plus program, presented, passed, and now they're out there flying high, teaching what we call behind the desk and behind the wheel. So I would just like my certified trainers, if you're in the room, to just wave your hand real quick. Woo! Thank you guys for your passion and your vision.